There are many books on my list I could recommend for anyone pursuing artistic ambitions. But if I had to pick just one, and especially if you don't feel like reading 5-10 books or more on this topic, I see you. The one that I believe will have the biggest impact and is most likely to make a difference is War of Art by Steven Pressfield. It's a must-read for any creative person out there. In fact, I'm going to go as far as to say that you don't qualify as an artist if you haven't read this book. I'm joking, of course, but please do yourself a favor and read it. It will change your life and the way you view creativity. We fear discovering that we are more than we think we are. More than our parents, children, teachers think we are. We fear that we actually possess the talent that our still, small voice tells us. That we actually have the guts, the perseverance, the capacity. We fear that we can truly steer our ship, plant our flag, reach our promised land. We fear this because, if it's true, then we become estranged from all we know. And that's terrifying. But you need to push past it, and however lame this sounds, you need to give yourself a chance to get to the treasures within you. Because they're only unique to you. They live and they die with you. And that small voice inside you, well, it's there for a reason. Imagine if all your favorite works of art have not been given that chance. How different would your life be? Heck, how different would all of our lives be? Because that includes not only music, paintings, books, movies, photographs and sculptures, but also breathtaking architecture that resulted in amazing buildings. It includes the first light bulb, and the cars, and the binary code that led to the invention of computers and the smartphones as we know and use today. Almost everything that is extraordinary in this life was driven by creativity, and came to the existence only based on the idea someone had in their head, and decided to give it a chance. So every time anyone tells you to get real, stop chasing rainbows, get a normal job, be normal, tell them that. Tell them that if all these incredible people listened to people like them, well, then our world would be a pretty bleak place. And the truth is, they might have your best interest at heart when they tell you this, but don't slip in this trap, please. They are scared of your willingness to follow the unknown because they themselves are too terrified to look inside. And I'm not saying it will be easy, sorry to break it to you, most likely it won't. Especially not in the beginning, and that's okay. And maybe it will never be easy, and that's still okay. Nothing worth having comes easy, and perhaps the bigger the impact, the bigger the sacrifice required. Here's my personal favorite part of the book that I tend to come back to a lot. The artist committing himself to his calling has volunteered for hell, whether he knows it or not. He will be dining for the duration on a diet of isolation, rejection, self-doubt, despair, ridicule, contempt, and humiliation. And the funny thing is that it will all be worth it in the end, because he'll bring something to life that didn't exist before. You are the vessel for it. Even if you don't get to revel in his glory, that's a reward in itself. The artist cannot look to others to validate his efforts or his calling. If you don't believe me, ask Van Gogh, who produced masterpiece after masterpiece and never found a buyer in his whole life. I still find it remarkable he managed to produce 900 paintings despite all that. Talk about perseverance. And when it comes to inspiration, this must be my favorite take on it in War of Art. Someone once asked Somerset Maugham if he wrote on a schedule, or only when struck by inspiration. I write only when inspiration strikes, he replied. Fortunately, it strikes every morning at 9 o'clock sharp. So make sure to show up for your art, and it will reward you. And as Chase Jarvis says in his book Creative Calling, make it till you make it. And don't forget to enjoy the process from time to time.